What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? And Happy New Year. So the last episode was published on December 23rd. So it's our first time here in the 2023s.
Yeah, the new year, right? Got to make it, got to bring it up with a bang.
It's futuristic, like flying cars, like a lot changed in 1 month. But legitimately, we have AI is taking over the world. So that's something new to be fearful of for this upcoming year.
We didn't watch the Terminator for years. Like, we knew this was going to happen, right? Skynet
man,
around forever, right? Like, we knew
Skynet. It's supposed to be Air Force supposed to introduce Skynet. Now it was open chat. Yeah. Like, we'll remember this day when we're fighting the dinosaurs with sticks, like robot dinosaurs, like Horizon. Remember this day. It will live forever. But yeah, welcome back. So this week we will actually hit episode 300, so a milestone. So we have more than 300 episodes. We have like 318, but in actual numbered episodes, we're going to hit 300 on the weekly rundown. So perfect timing, right? It's serendipitous, if you will. So definitely tune in for that. So Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday's discussion. And as always, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article actually comes from techtarget.com, written by Alexander Kalafi, and it's LastPass faces mounting criticism over recent breach. So we brought it to you before, in the old year. We're gonna leave that behind, it's 2022, but we talked about this breach before. And what's starting to happen is more is starting to come out of it, right? Like, it looks like it may have been a little more serious than what they led on to believe. So Password Manager, right? They published an update on December 22nd to his blog saying that the August security breach, it was an unauthorized party gained access to the LastPass development environment by compromising a developer account. As a result, portions of source code and some proprietary LastPass technical information were stolen. So before they tried to downplay it a little bit, right? They were like, oh, the passwords are safe. Nothing's going to come of that. They got a little bit of information, but they start talking about what more of that information got out, and it gets a little bit more troubling, right? So what ended up happening was the URLs that were assigned to people that use LastPass, those were actually unencrypted, right? So they didn't encrypt those, and they were just out there in plain text, right? Which is a little bit worrying, right? Because there is some information that can be gleaned from those, right? So even though they have some things that were encrypted and they said they were secure with 256-bit AES encryption, they say it can only be decrypted with the unique encryption key, blah, 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 right? As they're supposed to say, but they say the master password is not known and it's not stored by LastPass, right? Well, that's fine, but if you have an unencrypted URL, like, there's information that can be gained from that URL that can be used for them to do what they need to do to gain access to the actual passwords, right? So the company says it'll take 1 million years, right? To they literally said 1 million years to crack this 12 key password or 12-digit password that they have. But the problem with this is that the password is not computer generated, right? The password is generated by the user. So this is where this gets a little tricky, right? Because how many users are actually out there creating passwords that follow a good what do you call it? Like a good
like cyber hygiene, like,
there you go. Yeah. Like rules, like good rules, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen that often, right? So people are probably putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, you know what I mean? Like, that's their 12.
Cat 1 through 9.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. So if you're relying on the user, like, it doesn't take that long. And the other problem you have with this, right, is that in the hack, they downloaded all this information. It's not like they have to be in the system to get it. They downloaded everything so they could do it at their own time, right? At their own leisure, and do whatever they want to do, right? So this is one of those things where, yeah, they're trying to reassure the public, right? Because, once you start losing public trust, like, that's a big deal, right? But I think people should be maybe a little bit more fearful than what they're putting on. Now, this is not stopping password managers from making money, right? Like, it's not stopping them from having their tools utilized, right? But I just think it's one of those things where you got to be careful. And I'm not saying it's not a bad thing to have a password manager, because it isn't, right? But maybe we should do a little bit more research, maybe ask a few more questions, you know what I mean, to see how they're going about securing the things they do, how they're going about what their implementation plans are for the future, some things that can happen, right? Because we've talked about it on the show before about the passwordless technology, right? Like going that route, and that may be something they want to start looking into, right? But yeah, it's just coming out that, and I guess you got to assume this every time, right? That a company that's in it to make money is gonna try to strike a little less fear in you whenever something like this happens, and that seems to be what's happening here. And that people should be worried a little bit more than what was initially thought. But what's your thoughts on this, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. And just the way they downplayed it, right? So we watched a podcast called Tech NATO that kind of went to a deep dive on it, and just the stuff I did not realize was happening behind the scenes of it makes it a little bit more nefarious. Like, so I use LastPass. I haven't used it a lot, right? I don't have like a corporate account or anything like that. Like I just used it back when it was first launching and what have you. So I had to go back in there and change all those passwords. But what people I don't think are realizing that it doesn't matter if you change your password, like you should for future attack. However, they already have a copy of whatever was stored and encrypted from your previous password. So no matter what you do in real life, they have an offline version that they can do whatever they want to, and they have kind of the keys to the kingdom because they have the developer environment to do it. So yes, it may take a million years to crack a password that's very sophisticated, but most users use the same password, and it's usually oversimplified, like shift one down, two down, release shift one down, two down.
The waterfall, right? The waterfall.
Yeah, cat 1 through 9, password a little spiced up with some $signs in it. So these are already known passwords, right? So it's not going to take that long to break those. However, I wouldn't be too worried if you're not a person of public interest, right? Like they have millions potential of passwords, and a lot of these are tied to people who have corporate knowledge or corporate accounts or have the keys to bigger systems and businesses. They'll probably target those people first. So you're probably be lower on the totem pole before they get to you, but it's going to be out there forever, right? And as well as it makes it easier to make sophisticated phishing attacks, because now they know that, okay, you go to all these different websites. It gives them credibility. They're like, oh, okay, we know you go to chewy.com for your pet food and Adobe and what have you. So we can start targeting these emails to try to get you to give us more information, like, oh, your account's been compromised, please come here to verify your account, or et cetera, to get you to give them more information, or give them the password in general. So it's very troubling waters, because password managers are useful, especially when it comes to corporations and just daily life, right? Like a lot of my passwords are generated now by my browser. So like if that was ever compromised, I don't know my password, right? Like I just say, I just click through and says strong, and it's just gibberish. I'm like, yeah, that is strong. Click. My browser will remember that for me. I'm not going to ever be able to get back into my account, but someone else who has the keys to the kingdom may be able to in the future. So it's just, it's the ebb and flow of it all. Just go ahead, and if you are a LastPass user, update your passwords, and then just be very wary of phishing, smishing, those type of things. Like if you're getting emails asking you to verify anything, you should probably go to that website yourself and then see if there's an issue, as opposed to clicking through links, because that's the world we live in right now, where they'll have the ability to target you, as well as they'll have your tokens and APIs from previous sessions. So that's also, those are supposed to expire, but supposed to and actually expiring are two different things, right? So you're relying on other third parties to do their due diligence. So you're very vulnerable right now. So just do your due diligence and do care and update all your stuff, and don't click links. And then hopefully this will blow over. But as the guys in the Tech NATO podcast kind of were brainstorming, they're like, this information was released just prior to Christmas for a reason. They're trying to bury it. It's probably worse. They don't want the PR to go any further right now, and then maybe they'll disclose more in the future, like, oh yeah, we also lost this, or we also lost that. So just be wary. Update. That's all you can really do. So, but I think it's a first good episode. I think this is like 297 or so. I just know Friday is going to be 300, but definitely continue to tune into the podcast. Hit us up Monday and Tuesday, our topics. Wednesdays, our discussion. So definitely tune in for those this week. And then Friday, we talk about everything else. So movies, books, TV, games and that thing. We have a lot to cover from the holidays, so definitely tune in to that. And it's episode 300, so definitely celebrate with us. Hit us up on all of our social medias. You can hit me up at me personally. I'm at Right Security Guy. Man, I'm rusty. RY Security Guy on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, and Twitter. And Shannon is anonymous. He's got a very small footprint out there. So hit him up nowhere. But definitely continue to tune in, and we appreciate you listening to us or watching us on those platforms that show our beautiful faces. So with that being said, stay safe, stay secure.